First to pitch his development and face the Dealmakers is young gun Vinny Holloway.
Vinny, hi, thanks for coming in today on The Deal.
Thank you, Ed.
Tell me how you're feeling right now.
I'm pretty excited, Ed. I've got a good project up there and I'm excited to show the Dealmakers.
And tell me, how have you been preparing for this pitch today?
I've actually got some pretty interactive plans up there and I've got a scale model to show you as well, so you can get a full idea of the development, how it lays out and exactly how the investors or the tenants would live there.
And let me ask you this, what's at stake for you today?
I'm really hoping, Ed, that the Dealmakers like the project because I know it would be pretty good for their investors.
Fantastic. And I know that Brooksfield Living is quite a young company. How long have you been going?
We've been going as Brooksfield for about 2 years now. Prior to that, we've been in construction, investment and other property ventures for about 8 years.
How does this project compare to some of the other ones that you've done recently?
Well, Ed, I think the latest project's always the best, isn't it?
Well, Vinny, we appreciate you coming on The Deal today, and I wish you the best of luck in front of the Dealmakers.
Thanks, Ed.
A confident start from the developer, but will that confidence hold?
Hello, Dealmakers. Hi Dealmakers, I'm Vinny Holloway from Brooksfield. I've got Brooksfield Mews at 299 Selwyn Street in Spreydon. We've got 25 2 and 3 bedroom townhouses. Today I'm going to be specifically talking to you about these 10 2-bedroom plus a study, 1.5 bathroom townhouses. These properties are all for sale for $559,000 and they've got a rental appraisal of between $500 and $520 a week. Would you guys like to come up and have a look at the model and ask any questions you have?
A well-prepared and professional presentation from the developer. But will his props impress, or will it prove immaterial in the face of the experienced Dealmakers? This London-inspired development is made up of 2 and 3 bedroom townhouses based in Spreydon, Christchurch.
Originally we were looking at doing it all brick, which we've actually got round on the north side as raw brick.
Each come with a garage, a car park and a colourful facade. The first to take a closer look is the Queen of Mean property manager, Linda Forsyth. Next, the sovereign of sales, prolific real estate agent and investor, Slade. And finally, investor, financial advisor, and the prince of property, Andrew Nicol.
Hi Vinny, I'm Andrew. What's the square metre size for the units?
Just talking about these ones here, Andrew, from townhouse 10 to 19, they're 72 square metres.
And how big's the study?
1.9 metres by 1.2 metres.
And the bedrooms?
3.3 by 3.1.
Both of them?
Yes.
Quite big bedrooms?
Yeah.
And you mentioned that Addington was the #1 suburb. Tell me about that.
It was an article in Stuff a couple of weeks ago about that they rated all the different suburbs across New Zealand and took a whole lot of metrics to figure out which was the overall best. I suppose a lot of it came down to how it was to live there, the affordability of the houses, the amenities, and Addington came out as #1.
And how does Spreydon compare to Addington, do you think?
I actually think Spreydon, you have a better quality housing stock overall. You have a lot of nice bungalows, nice villas. It is about another 500 metres away from town than Addington, but I mean, it's in the same vicinity. You can still use all the same amenity that Addington has and be living in Spreydon.
And in your mind, what makes this a good investment for Opus clients?
This is a good investment, Andrew, because at the moment, there's a huge demand for 2-bedroom townhouses in and around Christchurch. And look, some of them have garages, some of them have car parks and all of that. But I think the main thing people are looking for to rent and to buy at the moment is 2-bedroom townhouses. The problem with that is that there's so many being built that one day we're going to get to a point where we've got too many of them to rent or too many of them for people to live in. I think when you have a look at these, just because they're a little bit different, because they've got a bit of design flair, because they have a study, because the whole community is nice, if you put one of these up against another 2-bedroom townhouse for the same rent, you're going to get your tenants wanting this as opposed to something else.
You mentioned the Selwyn Street shops across the road, so tell me about those.
We've got a dairy, a bottle store, a hairdresser's, just, your run-of-the-mill commercial local shops.
And then plus the cafe that
Plus we've got the cafe here that we're building, and that's currently in design, hence why I don't have the model made.
And how old is Brooksfield?
Brooksfield is 2 years old.
And do you think that because it's a relatively young company, there's any inherent risk with an investor purchasing through you?
Andrew, we don't start construction until all of the houses are pre-sold, and any deposits received are held in a solicitor's trust account. And if we were to not complete the development, then that would be refunded back to the purchasers.
And what about issues around warranties or something like that?
So all of these houses have a 10-year master builder's warranty. And the other thing to note as well is when we looked at these houses at the front, we actually looked at what sort of materials we were going to use. And the reason we went with clay bricks was we want to be able to drive past these houses in 50 years and have them still standing there solid like a brick house will.
So work through your numbers, and based on kind of a normal assessment that we'd put on a property, $520 a week, 100% borrowing, fixed interest rate jumping up in sort of year 6, all the normal costs in your residence association, I get a negative cash flow of about $10,000 over the course of 10 years. So it's a cost of about $40 to $50 a week. But on a 5% capital growth rate, that's a 364% return on investment. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Hi Vinny, I'm Linda.
Hello, Linda.
I was wondering if you might tell me, who is the demographic you're targeting here? Who do you think would want to live in this complex?
Linda, we've up-specced a lot of the fittings and fixtures in here, and as you can see, we've spent quite a bit of time thinking about the design, and the reason we've done that is because we're targeting young professionals who want to live close to the city, an easy commute, they have the cafe on the corner, and they want to live in a nice townhouse.
The complex has a number of units. Obviously they're going to complete at the same time.
Yes.
Are you confident that they will be popular enough to all rent out in a timely manner?
Yeah, Linda, that's a good question. With developments of this size, we always make sure that we only sell a maximum of half to investors. So we have a good mixture of owner-occupiers and investors in there. The reason for that is we don't want the investors to suffer with putting their property up for rent and also having 24 other investors trying to get the same tenants.
So I see that you've designed the units with a study. Why did you put a study in there rather than an extra bedroom?
Linda, in these ones through here that have the 2 bedrooms and a study, we couldn't quite make 3 bedrooms work comfortably in there. The study really is put where a lot of other developers would have wasted space. So you're actually buying a house that would normally be 2 bedroom without a study, and we've been able to do the layout a little bit different. You don't suffer from having smaller bedrooms, plus you get the study. So it's not so much, why didn't you put a 3rd bedroom, it's how did you get the study?
Vinny, how do you know that rental assessment of $520 a week is reasonable for that area?
Linda, we've based it on a lot of other comparables in the area, what other things are renting, and we've looked at these. It is about $30 a week more than other properties in the area of similar amenity, 2 bedroom plus a car park. The reason it's more per week is you've got a study, you've got an extra toilet downstairs compared to a lot of the other houses. You've got a fully private complex in here. You have the benefit of the cafe on the corner. They're just a better house.
Well, actually, Vinny, I just want to go into that in a bit more detail. So for Spreydon, the median rent is 400, the upper quartile is 465. You're 10% above that. Where are you getting your numbers from?
They're a better house, Andrew, than anything else in Spreydon. They've got amazing brand new fixtures and fittings. You've got the cafe on the corner. They're a stunning design. Like, you just want to be in these houses. Trust me, when you walk down the street, it'll be like stepping back into London.
And would you live in one of your investments?
Absolutely.
Vinny, I'd like to see that rental assessment. Thank you.
Hi Vinny, I'm Slade.
Hello.
Great model you've got there.
Thank you, Slade.
First question, Vinny, what did you pay for the land?
1.9 million.
Wow, okay. And what's your, on the purchase price, what's the per square metre rate which your purchasers will be paying?
I don't actually know, Slade.
Okay. You mentioned before about the Residents Association, Vinny. Can you tell me a little bit about that, and does it include insurance for the purchasers?
Yeah, Slade, good question. So the Residents Association doesn't include insurance, but we do organise insurance as a whole, okay. And then we pass the policy on to each individual owner.
Right.
The Residents Association covers a few things. Mainly it's maintenance of the common area in the middle, and it's also the rubbish collection twice a week.
Okay. And in that Residents Association, love the colour scheme there. Vinny, did you come up with that yourself?
I did, thanks, Slade.
Yeah, thought so. With the Residents Association, is there any stipulations around painting of the exterior?
Yes, Slade, there will be, and the colours will be staying the same.
Okay, okay. I noticed beautiful renders there, Vinny. Now, one thing that points out to me is the lack of external guttering.
Yes.
That's always raises a red flag with purchasers, and the lack of sophites there. Can you talk me a little bit through the construction and how you're getting around that with the building code?
If I can just tilt this up towards you so you can see, the roof is all shared here and it's common, and it all slopes back towards the back of the homes, and then you've got one continuous spouting down the back there. Now, that's how we get the water off the roof. The other question I think you were alluding to was, how do we waterproof this space? Now, we've got a flashing that runs from this point here up and over onto the roof to keep any water from going down in between the wall. The exterior is all brick as well, so very resilient to any rainwater should it fall on the walls.
Now, with these colours, they look quite good today and they're on point, Vinny. Do you think when our clients go to sell these properties in 15 years, they'll still be relevant?
Do you mean in terms of the longevity of the paint or the actual colours that they are?
Not an issue around the longevity of the paint, but the fashion,
Aesthetics.
the aesthetic.
Oh, the aesthetics. Well, Slade, this style of home, the proportions we've got and where the doors are placed and the colours, have actually the design has been around since the Great Fire of London in 1666. So I think, if it's been okay for 350 years, it's probably going to be okay for another 15.
But we're not living in London though, Vinny.
We're trying to.
The developer wants us to live in London, but is he living in La La Land? The Dealmakers will now decide whether the properties make sense for their investors and if they'll have the confidence to give them their stamp of approval. Remember, 2 out of 3 Dealmakers must give their approval for the deal to proceed.
Vinny, I like the product. I'm very concerned about the oversupply of 2-bedroom units in Christchurch at the moment. I think for the rents that you've actually noted, that this is going to be too difficult to get away. And for that reason, for me, there's no deal.
Thank you, Linda.
Vinny, I really like how you've paid homage to London style. It's what really Christchurch needs after the earthquakes. We've lost a lot of these buildings. I like your detail of construction and the detail you've gone into that. So for that reason, I'd like to do a deal.
Thank you, Slade.
Vinny, for our clients, these have to be good investments for the long term. And I'm concerned if Linda has concerns around the rental amount. Can I just ask Linda a question? How much would you assess the rent for?
Based on the completion date, I would see the rents at no more than $4.90 a week.
And where would you feel comfortable for getting a good amount of occupancy?
$4.75 a week.
Well, at $4.75 a week, it does affect the cash flow, but it goes from a $40 top up to about a $70 top up, allowing for higher interest rates. I think given that you've got a central location and given Christchurch is so undervalued right now, it still keeps that return on investment strong enough that I think this is a good investment. Vinny, I'd like to do a deal.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew.
Congratulations, Vinny.
Thank you, Slade.
Great job.
And so the first developer to face the Dealmakers has been successful. Let's find out how he's feeling and how his nerves have fared.
Vinny, congratulations. You've made a deal with the Dealmakers today. How are you feeling?
Good, Ed. I'm really excited to get those properties out to the Opus investors.
And I saw you got a bit of flack, copped a bit of flack from Linda there. What did you think about that? How did you feel?
Oh, I did, Ed, and I think that even if the rent is down a little bit on what I had budgeted, like Linda said, at $4.75 a week, it still makes a great investment.
Now, Vinny, these properties are going to be available for investors right around New Zealand, and we wish you all the best of luck with these. We look forward to seeing them built, seeing them rented, and growing that housing stock within New Zealand. Congratulations.
Thank you.